today's video, we're going to be talking about Haikyuu. I don't know if you guys recall this anime at all or not. I just remember the first time that I watched it, it blew me away. It was so cool. It was fascinating. It was around how like these kids in high school and ended up going to this volleyball tournament, and it was fantastic. It blew me away with how the animation was, how this story was, how it inspired me to want to like play volleyball. And I don't even like volleyball, bro. I've tried volleyball multiple different times, and that was never my cup of tea by any chance, by any means. And just for anybody that's new here, this channel is dedicated to helping you understand yourself, make more money. We do talk about some anime concepts as well too that you can use to apply to your own life, which is exactly what we're going to be doing in this episode right now, because there's so many animes that relate to like at your actual real world and real life. And I know this is a little bit different from other anime channels and series that I've reviewed, because most of the stuff that I review on this channel or talk about is more shonen based, where it's action based. Yet there was this one that just popped into my mind today, and I was like, you know what, I'd like to share this with you, because when I watched it for the first time, I'm not really into the sports animes, but I know a couple of you are, and I figure if maybe we can touch on a new audience base or get some new people in, then by all means we might as well do something along those lines. So with all of that being said, and I know that was longer than it needed to be, I also do have a cup of coffee with me today, so maybe I'll slow it down a little bit or take a little sip from here and there. And as I think I've said this before as well too, and we're going to jump right in, is I like these more genuine, authentic conversations, because this is how I live my own life. This is how I'd be having a conversation with you if you book a call down below to have a coaching call with me. And this is just how we'd be interacting. We'd go off the whim. We go kind of like off the whim, kind of not off the whim. I do have an outline, or at least a brainstorm idea for what I want to talk about within this video, which is exactly what we're going to be doing right now. So within the anime, you're going to see the kids, the students, that they aren't necessarily like great at doing their volleyball skills, at least not in the beginning. Some people that are more like second year, third year, fourth years are a lot better at their volleyball skills. Whereas like when the main character comes in, he doesn't have that same skill. Like he had a couple of skills, but not even close to the same level that the other characters did. So he had to work twice as hard to be able to get to that place. And the way that he was able to do that was by finding like a mentor / coach that gave him new strategies, techniques, and training styles that he could use to implement to be able to become stronger. In every single one of the animes that we do, and maybe I'll do another one on Keijo as well too. That might be a good one. I think I will. In every single anime that we watch, there is some form of mentor, there's some sort of coach, there's some sort of individual that's going to be pushing the protagonist, the hero, you, or the main character, also you, forward in some direction. You may think that you don't need that, you may think that you can do solo, you can do all this stuff. I know that that was something that I myself had done prior. I told you guys I got some coffee. I got to drink it before it gets cold. So that was one of the things that I was never someone that wanted to have like a coach. But then when I look back, I'm like, I had hired when I was doing drumline in high school. Wow, I was going to say college. When I was doing it in high school, I did not like doing drumline, yet it was something that I had to do to get better. So it's like, here, you hire a coach, or you hire an instructor, you hire somebody that can teach you to do these things. And at the time, like my parents hired them for me, so I never really thought about it that way. But like looking back and looking at the past invoices or the past payments that we made to the instructor that ended up helping me, I was like, oh, interesting. I also did the same thing back in the day too, when I hired a coach to teach me how to do like drum lessons when I was in a jazz band. The dude was like a 350-pound big man, like very big man, but very good on the drum set. And the dude would just like all over the place. That's exactly what coaches do, like a volleyball coach. Like they'll tell you exactly how to like squat, how to like put your hands. Like when I was playing volleyball with some of my friends a little while ago as well too, like I was asking them, I was like, hey, how do I like change my arms to like make the ball go up? Like, am I supposed to pass it up? Like, do I need to get it over? Like, when do I jump? Like, where's the right position? Like, how do I do this? And these are questions that I myself have always asked, because I want to get better. I want to improve what I already know, and I just want to learn as much as I can. And I just did a community post on this a couple weeks ago around this said topic, around how I don't necessarily was a huge fan of how some other people were doing it when they were asking for like some sort of payment when it came down to coaching. But then like at the same time, like the best coaches have, or the best athletes, the best individuals, the best performers have some sort of coach, have some sort of mentor, have somebody that has helped them progress forward. Like you can think about, like if we go with sports, like Bill Belichick, he helped, I believe it's, Tom Brady to win the Super Bowl multiple different times. Like he had a coach that helped him progress forward. I don't know anybody in volleyball that has those said things, but like if we think about in the anime, and I probably need to pull this up, I like looking outside of my window when I'm making these videos, because it's just, for me personally, it gives me a little bit of a better perspective on things. So let me pull this up. I have a nice view And I've talked about that a couple of times. So Show You, if I said his name correctly, like he had to have a different coach. He had to have somebody else that came in or a competitor that helped him want to become stronger so that then they can also both become stronger together. And then you have the main teacher who is able to help the students figure out exactly what they themselves are looking to get done, because as I've touched on this in a couple of other videos as well, you only ever see yourself. You never see the other person that you like. You only see yourself from your point of view, not from somebody else's outside point of view. And your friends in all likelihood are only ever going to tell you things that you want to hear, not things that you need to hear, which is sad kind of, but it's also just kind of a truth to the matter. And this is why what I was talking about with that post that I did a couple weeks ago is I myself have invested in myself multiple times over, hundreds of times over, thousands of dollars worth, not even hundreds of thousands quite yet. It's getting to that point. We're building up to that point because each time that I find something that I need to explore and dive into, I invest some sort of either time or money into it. And if you have more time than money, you might as well invest your time. If you have more money than time, you might as well invest your money, because then you can speed up the process, because having the right coach, having the right person that gets you as I get you, you can have this new understanding and you can develop these new skills that you didn't have originally. And I know a lot of times you might be like, okay, well, what if I want to go do it on my own? So if you want to go do it on your own, if you want to become a volleyball all-star, or you want to become a professional athlete or something like that, or you want to get into shape, what I would say, and this is what I say to a lot of friends and a lot of clients and a lot of people that I work with / mentor, is go to the gym for just 5 minutes. Like whatever that is, it can be small. If you don't want to do it at the gym, like you don't have to do it at the gym. You could at least go on a walk or something like that. That'll get you at least moving the body in some way, shape, or form. It's things that I've touched on in previous videos as well too, where like riding a bike, like if I get on the bike, like I could just go for a 5-minute ride, but I know if I do, like it's going to turn to a 4-hour ride. It's the same thing with going to the gym or exercising or walking. If you just get started, getting started is always the hardest part, but once you're started, it's a lot easier to keep that momentum going. So to be able to do this on your own, if you want to do this, then you can do this by all means. It's what I've done over the years. I also have hired other people as well too, because I haven't had a personal trainer that helped me do like lifting techniques and keep me accountable and like create a diet plan and this whole different like workout routine as well too, which you can download that down in the description. That's also paid. I just want to toss it out there. I know you might be getting tired of hearing me say this, but sadly from everything that I've learned in this world that we exist is we live in a capitalist society where we have to live in money is just a circulatory means that helps us get what we want and or provide value to somebody else. Any quicker means than time, because time is a limited resource. So going to the gym for 5 minutes, let's say you go to work first and then you want to go to the gym. Something that I would recommend you doing if you don't want to have to feel an urge to go back home is pack your gym clothes with you in the bag, and don't start off by going to the gym for an hour, 2 hours right off the bat or right off the rip, because that's what ended up happening with this other girl that I ended up talking to back when I was in college. She was like, I just noticed that she started going to the gym because like I saw her gym outfits like on the desk in front of her, and I was like, oh, hey, I see that you're going to the gym. She's like, yeah, I'm trying to get into it. And I was like, that's awesome. That's so cool. She's like, yeah, I appreciate that. And I was like, how often are you going? She's like, oh, I'm going like 5-6 days a week for an hour. And I was like, yeah, maybe break it down into like 30-minute increments. I was like, are you going by yourself? She's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, maybe start going with somebody else, because then at least this is what's worked for me when I have been wanting to get into shape and I have been wanting to have these like better exercises and better understanding of the world, so that then I could eventually develop into my own self, is have that partner, that person that's there with you to help you like stay accountable. And it's like, hey, I'm going to the gym at this time, I'll see you here. And you're like, yeah, okay, because you don't want to make your other friend feel bad, or that person that you're paying. Sometimes you have to pay to be able to remain accountable. Sometimes you just have a good friend that you're able to do it because you have those intrinsic desires within yourself, kind of like Shohyu did within Haikyuu, where he did have that like initial drive of like, I want to be the world's best volleyball player. So like if you already have that within yourself, just having somebody that pushes you or gives you a little small little nudge, or is like the catalyst in like a chemistry experiment that just like initiates what's already there, which that's exactly what I do, is I just figure out what's already there. But like if you don't have that innate drive or that being, because I understand that I am a lot different from a lot of people. I even said this to the people that I was talking with yesterday. I was like, I'm not somebody that needs to have somebody else to keep me accountable, even though I have had people in the past that have helped me in different ways, not necessarily so much with the accountability. I mean, at work, I did have the accountability. It's like if I don't show up, I don't get paid type of thing. So like health and fitness has been something that I started out having other people keep me accountable by having friends that would train with me, or having other programs that I would invest in, or watching like videos online around those things, and then finding ways to like interact with other people at the gym. So then I feel more like if I don't show up, then they're going to be like, oh, where's he at? Plus it's just kind of cool getting to see the other regulars at the gym. It just really comes down to the way that you are wanting to do this in your own life. And if it's going to the gym, cool. If it's going and playing volleyball, that's cool. It's really just what is the thing that you yourself can do to get active in a way that is either free or that is paid to keep you accountable. It really just depends on what works best for you. Because some people I know, they need a little bit of help. They need a little bit of a nudge to go walk, go run, go bike, go lift, go train, go do whatever it is, or you can find a club somewhere as well online too. Like I know there's plenty of clubs on like Facebook and meetup.com where like you can search like clubs in your area, and then you can go join like a volleyball club, or you could go join a basketball club or a lifting club, or all these different clubs. I myself personally have never done that because, as I was talking about at the beginning of the video, I've always been more of like a solo player. Like, don't get me wrong, I love being in team sports as well too, but I do a lot better with like one-on-one interactions than I do in group interactions. Then again, that's also kind of not true, because when I'm in the sauna and I have a whole group of people, I don't know if they're necessarily all listening to me, but I have no problem like talking as I talk, like one-on-one with the person. So there is a little bit of mix-max up there, and clearly like I'm having hundreds of people listening to me right now, even though it's just you listening to me at this said moment, at this point in time. Just fantastic, and I love it, and I'm grateful for it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And with all of that being said, if you do want to like get in shape, if you want to be able to have that ability to be able to transform your life, to be able to become healthier, that's where I say like go move, go try it, go start small. Like don't try to eat the whole elephant in one bite, because you can't. Like it's just impossible unless you have like a magical jaw that you can open up in some way, shape, or form. Because I know there's some characters that we see in our series where it's just like, okay, yeah, they could probably eat an elephant in one bite, but like sadly you're human in a human form right now, so you can't necessarily do that unless you go into your dreams, and then, or you like visualize it in your head, then you can do it that way too. But we're talking about like where we are at right now. And that's one of the best ways to do it, is if you do find a club or a community, and let's say that you're like, well, hey, I don't know how to talk with these people when I go out to these clubs or communities. Or like, what if I'm only going by myself? I don't want to go by myself. And that's where I'll say this to you is I didn't want to go doing hot yoga by myself. Like that was something that I never wanted to do. I was like, oh, this is only what girls do. And like, I'm a dude. I don't want to go do what girls do. Like, what is that? Everybody's going to call me names and make fun of me because I'm going to do yoga by myself. But then I went and did yoga by myself. And dude, it was the best, most wonderful, amazing experience that I've ever had, and I continue to do it over and over and over again. It's the same thing. Like if I don't have other friends that want to go hike with me or bike with me or run with me or walk with me or watch a movie or go like on a trip or whatever it is, I'm just like, I'll go do it by myself. I have no problem doing that, because I've been able to build up the self-confidence within myself by having those other people in the past that have kind of helped me, along with just always being kind of like an isolated person. Not necessarily an isolated, but like I just have always liked to do things whenever I feel like doing them, and sometimes it can be difficult to correlate with other people. But having that understanding that there are other people that are willing to help us out and wanting to be with us in that same way that we want to be in, by having those clear boundaries, those clear ways of thinking, and the clear identification of who we are as an individual by loving ourselves, then we can become a lot happier. We can start to exercise more. We can start to move our body. We can start to be pushed or swayed in the way that we need to be pushed or swayed in, because each thing that is happening in our life has always been happening for us. It's always been happening in the ways that it needs to happen for us. This is where I say, and I'll wrap up the video right about here because this is around the length that we end up having it. Each time that you go out into the world and you interact with somebody new, you learn a new piece of information. You pick up a new insight that you didn't originally have. And if you're only ever on your computer, if you're only ever watching TV or movies or anime or shows online without ever interacting with another human being, you're never going to get the information that you truly need in the ways that you truly want to have it. And the reason why I can say that is because I took this last year off and I didn't talk to anybody for several months, if not close to a year. And it was miserable for me. For you, maybe that's what you love doing, but maybe you want to try something new, kind of like with yoga. I never knew that I would love yoga until I tried it. You may never know that you love yoga or volleyball or all these other things until you try it. And I was talking about this in a couple videos ago as well too, like how people bash on My Hero Academia. Some people do. Some people don't, but like until you try it, you don't know if it's going to be good. So you have to give it a go first. It's like, how did you know that you like steak before you tried it? And it's like, that's a good point. How did you know that you liked lifting before you tried it? That's a good point. How do you know that you like anything unless you try it? You can listen to all these other people online telling you what they're doing and how they're living and the things that you should want, when in actuality, like you already know what you want. You know what you got to do. You know the things that you got to like do in the ways that you got to show up. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to coach you. I'm here to just mentor you in the ways that you need to. And if you just need a friend to talk to as well too, like I'm happy to be that person for you as well. And that's where I say, just like book the call down below. We can see what we can help out with, and the last little thing is too, like if you want to do it on your own, you can. It just may take you a little bit harder because your mind may play tricks on you, and you may just start out and be like, oh, this will be fun for a short period of time, but it has to be a whole lifestyle change. I've been lifting for the past like 8 years. I mean, I've been exercising my whole life. I've been hiring coaches. I've been hiring other people. I've been buying books. I've been buying education. I've been buying everything under the sun to help me become the best version of myself that I can be, even though this is a paradox to it. We're always perfect in the exact way that we need to be when we are here right now. So don't allow other people that are using marketing tactics or strategies saying that you aren't enough because you are enough. It's more about just like, do you have this need or this want or this ability to want to acquire new information in a new way, in a more succinct way, compared to having to like search for it on the internet? Because if that's the case, I can help tailor it exactly to you, compared to having these videos that are very wide reaching, whereas like a coach, a mentor will help you and identify those specific traits within yourself. That is very good because each person has different personalities, and one thing will resonate more with you than it will with another.